Hi there, and welcome to Nerf News in the Owl Ranch, Season 2, Episode 19. This is my little friend Sports Cam here. Hi, Mr. Sports Cam. Hello, how are you? Do you know why he's here? He is here because he's helping me film the making of Nerf News in the Owl Ranch right now. And he's showing me my view of what I see when I'm looking at you. No, I don't see you in my psychotic mental mind frame. No, I see this little camera, this little box. You see this right here? I see this computer right here. I see the blasters. I might shoot at you or in your general direction. Either way, you should be scared. And basically this is what I see. Yeah, that's right. So, this week we have a lot of really cool stuff. We got some people really building up some Armageddon goodies, okay? Such as Alan Turbino. He shows the internals of his number 300 Longshot, and it's pretty rad. He's got a brand new barrel that he's coming out with, and hopefully we'll have a video of soon. And we have Boomtendo, who has broken that 300 foot per second barrier with a Boomco. How exciting, because I told him that the first people he should shoot at are the people who didn't believe in him. That's going to be possibly one of the best Giddens I've ever seen. So, without further ado, let's go to the news, shall we? So, Alpaca XJ came through again with yet another really good Nerf leak on his page, Nerf Link Lovers. Go check it out because he has lots of really cool stuff, you know. He opened up a Trilogy shell, and come to find out, it just takes one screw, and the whole thing opens. No glue, no anything. That is so cool. And Justin Wilkes from Make Test Battle, which is another really kick-ass channel to check out, you can easily, there's a lot of space to print your own with smooth barrels or inserts like brass or PETG. That's really cool, yeah. So, this is really nice because this is going to be really easy to configure these. I believe that you can take out the pegs, you can just rip this out, take out the pegs, and you can put this in. I don't know what the diameters are on these. I'm hoping that they're really loose, because if they're really loose, then we could put in brass, what have you. But this is a really good sign of the Trilogy. And the Trilogy, I was really disappointed with because of low FPS. It wasn't magazine fed. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that, you know, it's just going to work out and be better. I'm hoping we can mod the Trilogy, even though it's geared and everything. We can come up with a direct prime system, but this is a good sign. Then at least we can take apart the shells and we can put anything we want in here. When I saw this, I thought, wow, this is great. This is really cool. But again, I think the sledge fire seems to be best. And speaking of which, Trip Miller, he says he got 18 kilograms, finally, in his sledge fire. Oh, man, I can't wait to see that. He says he's going to get a chronograph, he's going to test it, he's going to wax the barrels and everything else. I'm thinking he'll get up to 300 feet per second. I wish he was coming to Giddens. That would be really cool. See a sledge fire. Boom! 300 feet per second. I just think that would be really cool. A number 300 sledge fire. And Trip is working on that, so we're going to see that pretty soon, hopefully, because I know that blaster is destined for greatness. The Trilogy, I don't know, but the Sledgefire definitely is destined for greatness. So, Armageddon 20 is looking interesting. That is, of course, 9 a.m., Standard Elementary. Game starts at 9:30. So if I got it wrong last time, it's 9 a.m., it starts at 9:30. So be there prompt, lickety shits. This, you know, is a really excellent velocity figure. 328 feet per second. Off a 1 gram Nerf dart, well, that's pretty achievable. But off of a 1.5 gram Boomco dart, and put in mind, that ups the joules significantly, because now you got a dart that's 1.5 times heavier. 328 feet per second. And maybe it's heavier than that. I don't know. Boomtendo will have to tell me. Last I heard it was about 1.5 grams. 328 feet per second. Off of a K14 and I believe a K26, I think. It's 40 kilograms, no less. And it's just shooting lasers. So he has basically taken a Spring Thunder, modified it to shoot Boomco, and he has gotten these very impressive numbers. This is going to be a really interesting Armageddon, because you got me and Alan, we have long shots. I got, 300 foot per second chrono mags, I've got a Pigeon, I've got, of course, a good old Type AR, We got Alan with his number 300 Longshot. We got this guy here, who I advised to shoot all the doubters first, that are on the other team. And yeah, we got some serious. This is going to be a really serious war. And it's going to be a war that not only is going to be really serious, but it's going to contrast the old wars where a lot of stuff was homemade, a lot of things were done with CPVC and, you know, Crayola barrels and what have you. And back in the days where Nerf was more economical, now it's a little bit more competitive. And it's going to be very interesting. I want to see what Spoon says about it. Like the differences between the wars. Since he goes every 5 years, he goes to a war. People like Groove and Jordan, you know, the Wonder Twins, I would really be interested to see what do they got to say about it. And I'm going to ask them. I'm going to ask them at the war. You know, what do you think? Because Nate Little brought up that really interesting notion that Nerf used to not be so expensive, Chris. It used to be easier. And I think he's got a good point. And so is it time for a Nick-only league? Is it time to just all play together? I personally think, I see the Nick people, and as experienced as they are, we all play together and we do really well. And I've seen people just kick butt with a 4B and the hopper and the bow and the arrow with the hopper on it. And I still see people out there getting is just a war of all people, all kinds. But I want to show you too a PM that Boomtendo showed me. Okay, so here is the plunger tube bullet carrier for his Spring Thunder right here. And he made this 3D printed piece and he epoxied it, the whole thing to it. This is real engineering. So if you've seen the standpipe that I put in here that was made out of brass, he basically took the same kind of standpipe and he put it in here. So the Spring Thunder, which normally has a 3D printed tube, now having the brass tube on there. And with the pusher for the Boomco darts and everything else built in, this is really clever with the interlocking brass and everything else. So really a good amount of engineering work done here, and I'm really proud of Boomtendo. I helped him out with it a little bit, but but as for coming up with stuff like this, such as 3D printing this and then epoxying it to this tube, but I helped him out with the tube and some ideas and everything else. When he had advice, I helped him. I've been devoting a lot of time to consulting and helping certain people like Nerf AZE and, you know, Boomtendo, trying to bring them up to level, and other people have asked me about the, you know, other things such as the titanium and what have you. We got a couple of people that are modding these right now that I'm helping out, and I've been devoting a lot of time to that, and also with fine-tuning for Giddon myself. So, like I said, this is the Giddon, possibly the most ultimate Giddon, and in my opinion, if you really want to go up against the big boys, you ought to come, because this is going to be a great event. And also, there's a warm-up war, 22nd, Old Hammer Park in Glendora, 11 a.m., so you can sleep in a little more. I know I like to sleep in a little more myself. And it's going to be a Nick War, the 350 cap, and it's basically going to be the week before, so you can dial in everything, get everything going, and find out what works and what doesn't before Giddon. It's actually a former Armageddon site that they've played on, you know, next to Colin Elementary. So it's a good park, triangular shape by a wash. It's pretty cool. So if you want to come by and hang out with me and hang out with Ray, I promise to make it to this war this time. This hasn't been a good year for wars for me. I've been under the weather, kind of sick the last 6 months, but I will be at this war, and I will be fine-tuning all my gear. So if you want to come by, definitely swing by. It ought to be a lot of fun. A peer of mine, Alan Turbino, showing off his internals of the number 300 Longshot. As you guys all know, the number 300 Longshot is his custom Longshot that he made with his custom aesthetics, many of his own implementation and ideas, such as the stock and the grip and to make it solid that a lot of other Longshots just don't have. He's a first on a lot of things. Much of his breech design like this is a lot like what Orange Modworks incorporated on their Singapore kit. But he shows off the internals. It's a lot like this, where this has this big 18-inch barrel here, and it's dual spring. So he's got like what looks like a dual strike spring and an 18.5 turf, which is cool. I think 18.5 turf is just a great spring. He's got the Orange Modworks aluminum PT and everything else. But also, and he hasn't posted it yet, but he also has a barrel, a brass barrel, which is a straight Merlin, which is not like removable like this one. It's just fixed. I'm really interested to see in battle, how well does that do? Because I've often thought about, okay, do I want the Merlins to be exchangeable, which I found to be a great advantage for tuning and for cleaning and waxing and for, of course, changing and trying out different configurations of the Merlin, or are you better off just going one, especially if you got it dialed in, you've made a few of them, you pretty much know where you want it, okay. And he's calling it the Merlin X. And so, look, I think he's going to do a video on it, so be ready to look for it on his channel, on OC Nerf, because I think, you know, I'm really interested to see it, because, okay, so let me pick up the number 2 Longshot, for example, okay. This is really accurate Longshot. It's got a Merlin, a swan barrel, and it's got a semiconductive material on here that takes the heat away from the brass side and moves it to the aluminum side. I haven't seen much use for that. This, for example, is just brass, silicone, and then aluminum on the inside of this. I thought there'd be a big difference, but no, maybe on a hot day there is. But essentially, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, this is an outie Merlin. On these ones, there's an innie Merlin where the inlet is on the Merlin, not the barrel. On this one, it's on the barrel because it's a short barrel. And basically, what I can do is I can take my Merlin and I can just put a new one on there. I have a problem with the Merlin. I have the barreling comes off or it gets dirty, or I want to try a different pitch. I can just take one off and put one on and put it back on the centering tab like so. It's just interlocking metal and what have you. But what Alan's trying is just to make it one solid unit. And for every little bit of accuracy you're trying to gain on a Nerf Sniper Blaster, and believe me, I know, you do really get nitpicky and down to the nitty-gritty when you are customizing these blasters. How much of a difference is it going to make? Or are darts still a factor, still an issue more than even that? I don't know. I do know this, though. Like this blaster right here, if I don't tighten this up, this front area up, where this Merlin goes, because you can see this is an innie Merlin. Okay, this is a 105 Merlin. Okay, and this is like this, so I can just put whatever barrel attachment I want on there. If I don't tighten this up and this moves everywhere, I do see my shot dancing everywhere. It does happen. You know, it's not as accurate. Or if I don't clean up this crown really well, same thing. So I think it might really make a difference. I don't know. We'll have to see, of course. But it's interesting, you know, he's really exploring every aspect of Nerf sniping with his number 300 Longshot. So number 300 Longshot is not just a really fast Longshot. It is like Big Blue, where it is a research and design centerpiece where a lot of things were tried and either succeeded or failed. And this is a blaster where a lot of things succeeded and failed, and the things that failed were removed, and the things that succeeded stayed on the blaster. And it's going to really be interesting to see this at Armageddon 20. And oh boy, Armageddon 20 is looking real interesting. Freaks come out. The freaks come out. The freaks come out forgetting. The freaks come out. The freaks come out. The freaks come out forgetting. The freaks come out. The freaks come out. The freaks come out forgetting. The freaks come out. The freaks come out. The freaks come out forgetting. Come together. Say your prayers. Here's an old relic from my past. And I decided, hey, let's shoot it with this thing. My name is Cartaya, and I am an asshole. Yes. Oh yes. I was fortunate enough to take the CD out before I did that. Woo! Wow, that's freaking gnarly. With a fucking silicone-headed dart just blasted through this motherfucker. Look at that. Holy crap. This week, we got a really good post from Enoch Jenkins, who does a lot of work with Artifact and a lot of other Singapore nerfers. he says that the artifact taboo page is up again. It has been down for stock taking. The only thing was that he didn't put the link up, and a lot of people are like, you know, we can't find the link. It's not easy to find. So he puts up a link right here. Check it out. I'm really happy. A few weeks ago, I posted that the artifact Longshot kit is going to be back, and now it does seem that they're back, that they're restocked and they're going. So let's see exactly what they restock, shall we? While this page loads, because it takes forever. Oh man, so here I go. I go look at this link, and it's just these Chinese characters. Do we have a translate on this? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Can't seem to see anything here. It's kind of sucks. If anybody's got a link for Tabo, you know, for Artifact, let me know, because I was really happy and excited, and I could have sworn earlier it was working. Yeah. Maybe they're sold out already. I don't know, because it was running, and now it's not. But anyway, I guess they're building up stock, and they're going to have more stuff. They're going to have more things going, and that ought to be really cool, because of course the quality of Artifact stuff is really good. Their sleds are good, their kits are really well machined, everything else. So I really do hope that they make a full back two into the community, because I know, like my friend Skylar, he has an Artifact kit in his Longshot hits. That's Skylar, who helps run Scoon, and he loves it. He thinks it's great, and I personally don't like him for the simple reason of that it's just has a small ID on the pusher, and also that it doesn't have the feed tab. I like feed systems with feed tabs. It's why, you know, when the Alpha kit was designed, it had a feed tab. But again, it's all just personal things. An Artifact kit will work just great, will work just fine. And but the machining, I do admire the machining. I do like it, and I really do hope to see more stuff from Artifact. Maybe, oh, I don't know, metal plunger rod, maybe some more springs, maybe a new improved kit. Who knows? But as of right now, I do hear they have a 45 centimeter barrel. That's really cool. But yeah, nothing. I don't understand what's going on. Oh, you know what? For life's disappointments, there's always this. I was really hoping to see the Artifact Hobble page, but I did not. And we got a couple more disappointments today, and one of which was brought to us by What the Foam here. What the Foam is another really good news agency. I believe they're powered by 4 people now. That's where I'm one. Basically, no more custom panels, no more custom name panels for the FDL3. I think that's really sad. Whoa, that's powerful. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, no more. They're not going to do any more of these. And the thing was that they said is that it's causing a lot of frustration and delays, and you know, it's become more elaborate and frustrating. It's not viable for a small vendor. And I know that's hard sometimes to make custom stuff and to do stuff. I finally had to sit there and say, hey, look at no, Mauser Fire comes as Mauser Fire, Bird of Prey comes as Bird of Prey, Fire Strike comes as Fire Strike. I don't do custom paint, I don't do this, I don't do that. Because it becomes very hard to do all these things, to make everything custom and just like exactly what people want, because there's so many things you got to keep track of and so many special things you have to do. And I hear you, you know, FDL, you know, Project FDL, you know, Silver Fox Industries, I hear you. I can see how that can be frustrating. But nameplates, I really don't think are that big a deal. I think one thing that they could do, I mean, you could charge more for it, or you can make it so people have, when they buy the FDL, they get the dimensions for the lid so they can do it themselves in Fusion or SolidWorks or what have you. But I just thought that this is like becoming a sign of the times. This is really sad, because I mean, if you see all those videos with the FDLs, I mean, especially like Drax FDL and like other people that I have seen, where they have all the custom names, it just made it pop, man. It was really cool. And now they don't have them. So, we'll see if they come up with a solution for this. As of right now, no custom nameplates for the FDL. I think that's just really sad. And I want to thank What the Foam for coming up with this, and I just think this is just really sad. And more people want to talk to me. Yay! So, Nerf has come out with, they call it Up Their Game to kid-friendly Fortnite blasters. I wouldn't really call it Up Their Game. The only thing I'm hoping for is that this doesn't have that really weird triangular look, and it looks a little bit more like a real Desert Eagle. No, but it's that slanted line, so I doubt it. So they broke out the Nerf Fortnite HCE, which has, it's just using the Mega Darts rather than the 3-shot internal magazine that the other one uses. They look like blasters that were made off the water guns. You remember the Desert Eagle one that I liked, but it's a water gun? I'm like, oh shit, it's a water gun. I wish it was a Nerf blaster. Well, no, they made a Nerf blaster. They also have a rocket launcher. Remember that rocket launcher that looks really cool? That rocket that goes, looks like the logo for Clay Smith's cans with the woodpecker going, well, they now have a rocket launcher that shoots actual foam missiles. So I was really hoping for that, because I didn't like the fact that the rocket launcher was, it would have been a HAMP rocket launcher, I'm sure, was just for water, you know. I mean, water's my friend, but, you know, I don't have a sister that's gonna melt if it touches them, but, you know, a lot of people do, so they would prefer foam, but nonetheless, yeah. So that's really cool, and I think the good thing about this is there were a lot of designs like this one, where I saw it in the store, and I went, shit, it's a water gun. And I wish that slide went back. Chink, chink. Yeah, maybe it does on this one. I think it does. Ooh, can you imagine Desert Eagle draw? Chunk, chunk. Boom! Not to mention... excuse me. Not to mention Hot Shock kind of internals. If this had Hot Shock internals, and you can just put this long barrel on there, kind of like the Desert Eagle has, like... no one remembers that the Desert Eagle had like a 10-inch barrel and a 14-inch barrel, along with the 6-inch barrel that we all love, and after 2,500 shots it clogs up in there and then it doesn't cycle the slide. And well, anyway, if you've got money, no big deal, right? But they make a 10-incher and a 14-incher, so I'm thinking because of that, you can put in a longer one and it can look like a Desi. And then if you made that capo loaded, oh yeah. So I am really excited about this one. The rocket launcher, not as much, because it will probably be a HAMP. It will just push air instead of water. If it's not, if it's actual fire medicine, like kind of like a 3B, that'd be cool if it was like a 3B, where you pull it back and then it fires. That would be cool, but I doubt that. It'd be cool though. Then that would be really cool. And I'm wondering what other things they're going to do to make them kid-friendly as well. I mean, I really didn't figure like the Scar wasn't kid-friendly or whatever, but okay. At least we get the designs we want, and that looks cool. I just wish they would get rid of this forced perspective. It's so ugly. And last but certainly not least, we have Captain Slug with the number 1000 Caliburn. This gets raffled off for, I think, $10 a ticket. And he's going to put up other things too. Basically, he's having a pop-up store over at FoamCon. And he's going to have like $4 barrels and K14s and K26s available. All the parts you basically need for the Caliburn, which I think is really just far out. But this baby also up for auction, which ought to be really cool. Really cool. So here's the cool thing. Okay, so he basically listed it right here. He showed up to FoamCon with a bunch of stuff. Caliburn kits for $125. The raffle tickets for, I was right, $10. The Esper kits for $70. Caliburn hardware kit for $60. 4 grips for $10. Esper hardware kit for $30. Iron sights for $3. Knuckle busters for $5. An upgraded core for $10. Alumina inserts for $15. Takedown pit set for $2. K26, K25s, and K31s for $4. Logical stop bag of bits for $2. Stickers for $1. Plunger tubes for $4. So, and barrels for $4. So he is kind of doing like kind of a pop-up store at FoamCon. So, you know, if you got a lot of stuff you got to get for Caliburn, maybe you need a new plunger tube, maybe you need new parts. This is a perfect time to hit up. Perfect time to hit up Captain Slug for those much needed parts, and just buy it, and give Slug your money, yay! You know, yeah. So you can go do that. Another thing I'd like to point out is that Drac has made a Tooth and Nail 2 as well, and it got funded. Boom, lickety splits. You know, and he's coming out with that too. So if you want some aluminum parts for your Caliburn, I highly suggest that over going with the worker parts and going with the rip-off stuff. May it cost a little more money, but it is a Drac product. It is a Tooth and Nail. I saw the original Tooth and Nail over at Ragna, and I was really impressed with it. And I talked to Drac for a little while. I didn't post that video because I didn't really have permission to post it. And when he asked if the camera was on, I said, yes, okay, but I won't post this because I didn't have your permission. I am honorable like that. Also, if I run into a celebrity in the same way, I won't post that person because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in doing that and being sneaky like that. So, but yeah, he's got the new one out, and I think it ought to be really cool. And that's what I would do if I were to go metal. But, yeah, so he's going to show up, and he's going to have all these goodies for you. So you can get your Caliburn up to date and running and ready to go. So until next time, this is Chris Cartaya saying, don't you go changing, or I'll find you. What is happening? What is your friend? Oh man, consumerism is getting you. Look at these patches.
Tell me that's not good though.
It is good. Look at all these. The merchandising is the biggest thing here. Like all this stuff, the robots, everything. And this is where most people are flocking at Galaxy's Edge, is to all these places. Billy Roy's. Wow. Must be hold on. He's right over here. In this corner. Right by KO4. He's just by a bunch of people. Yeah, take a picture, man. So how are you doing, R2? Good? Ew. Yeah. Got a lot of fans, don't you? I will get better. Only a few hours of quitting time. Take care.